for 3 years we were trying to date each other. Only thing we ever did was go to church and kiss each other once or twice.
You are so gorgeous. I was like looking at this and I was like, okay, I can tell she's already pretty, but you look damn good. So yes, God has been good to you, ma'am. Do you ever do online dating?
No.
Good.
I don't do anything.
You don't? Do you go to bingo? Do you go out? Do you?
No.
And he would have the problem.
Look, he would have to come to my house. That's what he would have to do for me to see him. Because no, I don't. I want to, and I just be fooling myself, but you'll read about it in my memoirs. It scares me to death. It just
so you do want to date if God drops him right down in
yeah.
Other than that,
I'm not looking.
Okay.
I want companionship in that way, but I'm not out there looking for him. He gonna have to come to me, and then I know he's the right one.
Okay.
I have male friends.
Okay.
But I have to keep that, distance. Yeah. It's a real thing, girl. I'm telling you, it's a real thing.
I believe it. I think I might be there because, it's been 3 years for me that I've been with anybody, been in a relationship or anything like that. And so I keep thinking to myself, maybe I'll just wait until my son is out of the house and then start dating again. Because right now, honestly,
you're so young.
I know. And listen, I want somebody, but at the same time, I'm actually at peace too. Like, I don't really.
Right. That's the thing. I don't fight with anybody. You don't have that anxiety going on. It's just like.
And got to explain where you going, what you want.
Yeah. Then oh no, I remember. Oh no. But it's been like 14, 15 years for me since I've dated anyone. And I tried. I tried about 8 years ago, but the guy was so flaky that for 3 years we were trying to date each other. Only thing we ever did was go to church and kiss each other once or twice.
Okay.
In 3 years. So I gave up. I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm maybe too old or whatever, but I'm set in my ways or whatever it is. I just got to give myself more time. So it's been like a good 8 years since I tried somebody.
Okay.
We didn't get as far as going on a date in 3 years.
Really? For 3 years? What was his problem? Was he waiting on you to leave?
I don't know. And I was trying to find out because I asked him over and over and over again, what is the problem? Why can't we, connect? And he would be like, read your Bible. It'll tell you, because we were ushers in the church together.
Okay.
And so we would stand at the door, together, and we would flirt and all that kind of stuff. And then he would come over to my house, but he wasn't there to like date me or anything like that. He would just come by for Bible stuff, just church stuff. Just
okay.
So yeah, we never got it off. And I don't know.
Do you think he was,
I don't know. He was ex-Army, of course, because I live down the street from the base, but ex-Army, and he had a 4-year-old grandson that he was raising.
By himself?
By himself. Maybe because he was raising his grandson, he didn't have time to get close to me.
That's possible. You know what's crazy? I noticed that a lot of single men, like single fathers, for some reason, they can't balance fatherhood by themselves and dating. I've noticed this. And that's why, even though I'm a single mom, I don't want to date a guy who's a single father because they don't know how to balance their time. Like, they don't know how to manage it the way we
do. Like we do. Yeah. That's crazy. Maybe that was it, but I think it was also he didn't want people in church thinking he was dating someone in church. Because he would talk to me at church, but he wouldn't like treat me like he did when he came over.
Of course.
And he would come over and bring me things like he would drink. So he would bring me like tons of liquor. Oh, I need to get rid of this stuff. I just to get over to my house. Oh, I brought you a bag of this and I brought you a bag of that. And yeah, and wait, before we get started. My TV had gone out, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I was talking to him. He said, "Oh my God, how are you going to watch your story?" And I said, "Oh, I have a TV in the living room, but I prefer to watch it in my bedroom. But I'm cool." He said, "Oh no, I'm going to take you up on base, and we're going to get you a new TV." Girl, the man bought me a whole TV, and then my granddaughter, who was in college, she said, "Granny, that's your boyfriend. Nobody buys you a TV." I said, "But
This
he
is
don't
true.
call he don't call me his girlfriend. He never said anything of the sort.
That
Never.
is really interesting.
Yeah.
So for 3 years, you guys did this back and forth, but it never turned
No,
into anything?
no, never, never. And it was kind of weird because I was head over heels crazy about this dude.
Were you?
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
when you would just straight up ask him, like, what's up? Like,
Well, he would call me like every night before bed. He would call me every night and we talk on the phone until he starts snoring. And then I'd have to hang up, because he would fall asleep. And but this was a every night thing. So every night I was getting more and more involved in being his girlfriend. I'm thinking, okay, eventually I never saw his house. He saw mine, but he never invited me to his house, which was another red flag. But I knew he lived alone, but he just didn't think that I was supposed to show up when his grandson's there. I don't know. But he was, I don't know. He was just really, really nice in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very, very uh like attentive and a gentleman, and he just really just got me, all boiled up. Every time I saw him, I would just be like, ooh,
Wow.
my insides be like, ooh.
Yeah.
Then we would have like church functions. He act like he didn't know me.
Yeah. He is a player. He's a player.
Like he didn't know me.
Yeah.
I was sitting next to him. He'd be like ignoring me.
Yeah. I know those types. They treat you real good when it's one-on-one, but then when you're in public, that's because they don't want to ruin their image. They want other women to think that they are still single and they could do their own thing. It's a player thing. It's happened to me too.
Oh, is that what that is? He was too freaking old to be a player. He's 62 years old. Come on now. That's a little too old to be a player.
It's some old fools out here, Miss Di.
Jesus. I just wanted to, like get out of my long-term celibacy, But hey.
He wasn't the one.
No, I guess not. So I gave up and no, I don't even go to church. So
okay.
Yeah, I stopped going because of him.
Really?
Yeah, to that church.
Okay.
Not totally. But
okay.
Because I got a church down here in Tacoma that I was going to.
Okay.
But that church didn't feel right. So I just stopped going.
What was going on with that church?
Well, the people there, I was so used to one church. Okay. I was just used to that church. When my bishop retired, it was just a whole different scene. So I was okay with leaving there, but I was so used to it. I sang in the choir. I was on the usher board. I was on bereavement.
Do you ever go back and visit your old church?
Mm-mm. It's not even in my neighborhood. It's in a different county.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to drive a distance to get there every Sunday. So.
Oh, wow. You were dedicated.
Yeah. For years.
Don't let no dusty 62-year-old man drive you out of the gym. Anything.
Yeah, it was just that I got so wrapped up in my heart. My heart was just in it to win it. Yeah. But with the reason I cut ties with him is because he invited me to his grandson's football soccer game, and I thought, okay, I get to be a family type thing here. Yeah. When I got there, he and his grandson weren't even there. So I sat and I had brought my chair and I sat and waited. And the game was almost in the last quarter. So I'm like, is he even coming? And then all of a sudden, here he comes. His grandson had 10 minutes to play. And the whole 10 minutes, he said nothing to me. He didn't say hello. His little grandson now, he knew me from church and he would hug me, you know. This man said nothing. He didn't say hi. He didn't say anything. And I was like cheering for the little boy, you know, I was just cheering, David, David, you know. And he wouldn't say nothing to me. So after that, I sent him a text and I said, it would be best if you didn't call me anymore. Then he calls me on the phone. He said, what does this text mean? And I said, just like I said, don't call me anymore. I didn't want to call you and argue. I didn't want to give you any excuses. I didn't want to discuss it. Just don't call me anymore. So he waited a year and he called me back. He said, you know, I love you. You know, I love you. And I said, no, I'm
That
done
ain't
with
love.
No, I'm done with that. I'm not playing games. And he was the one that said, I don't play games.
Yeah. You
From the
dodged a
very
huge
beginning.
bullet. You dodged a huge bullet with that one because he's a weirdo. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Lady Di.
yeah,
He's a weirdo.
yeah,
You
yeah,
dodged. He was nice and he was doing just enough to keep you and making you feel like you were special. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, he ain't got it. Something ain't right. He hiding something. Mm-mm.
I know, but I don't know what it is. And
Exactly.
all the women at work thought he was just a great guy.
Lady Di, we got to get you out that house now. I mean,
Well, you know what? I'm not too worried about getting out of the house because there's
what?
nothing really out there for people my age. You know, you don't want to go to a club. You don't want to. I don't
No.
want to go back to church. You know, if I don't see him in the grocery store, then
Okay. We gonna figure it out. We gonna figure you. So you in the Tacoma area?
yeah.
Oh,
Well, look, baby girl, you could come and visit me. I got a daughter. She's 46. I got a granddaughter
that's
who's
nice.
26. Yeah,
Okay.
so we're all like 20 years apart.
Uh,
Wait a minute. They're 27. Yeah, okay, 27, 47, and I was 67, but I just turned 68. So they're going to
okay.
be turning 28 and 48 this year. So
Okay.
we kind of stay at home. The three of us live together, and we try to stay at home.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds peaceful. It really does sound peaceful. And sometimes
It is.
that's the best way to be. Sometimes just taking
Mm-hmm.
care of yourself.
Yeah,
Developing and strengthening your relationship with the Most High. Sometimes
right.
that's the best thing.
Yes.
Tell
Yes.
us about you and all of the literature and all of the literary works that you have done so far, and a little bit about each one.
Okay, so back in 1991, I got divorced, so I started writing as a way of therapy. And I wrote that first novel and I sent it to some publishers and they sent it back to me. The book was entitled Bed of Pink Roses, Bed of Pink Roses, and it was a romance novel. It was about an interior designer who fell in love with one of her clients. And they rejected my manuscript, so I decided, okay, I'm not a writer, so I'll just, put that on the back burner. That was just my first try at it. Then I decided that I would stick with the romance novel thing because I was new at everything. I knew how romance worked because I had relationships that I could share, fictitiously.
Yeah.
So I started writing Libras in Love. Libras in Love was a 3-part series, and it was all about these 5 friends who were all Libras. And they went through having children, getting married, the college thing. They went through their whole life in 3 separate series. I wasn't really proud of that book because I think the first book I was okay with, but then it started getting kind of stupid. Okay. So I took it off the market. I said, I don't even want to read that. So my daughter and I got into genealogy. So I thought, okay, we have our blood work done. We know, where our line is and all that. So maybe I'll write about that. And then we got in touch with some cousins, some distant cousins that I had not known we had. And we started communicating. And I thought, why don't I put that in a book? And I named that Truth Be Told.
Okay.
So, in truth be told, I told a lot of secrets. I told a lot of truth that my family went through. And I thought, um, hmm, I don't really like that book either. So, but the reason I didn't like it was because I used a lot of genealogy terms, and I used a lot of the what the chart said and where we came from. And I was like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to go deep diving into that because there are real people that do that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to spend all my time doing that.
Okay.
So I said, okay, that book, throw that to the side.
Okay.
So because my life was so full of turmoil for so long, I decided, why don't I just write about my family because I know them and I know what they've been through. Why don't I write about them? And that's where the inspiration came for all my books after that.
Okay.
I write about my family, but not my family. I just add a little bit into what I know because I like to write about what I know. I don't like making up things, but I can tell a story. So I would take the truth and I would make a story out of it. So I did that in the series that you are now
Okay.
reading.
Okay.
So, but the stories in there are real people.
Okay.
But I've changed the names and the
Okay.
places, and a lot of that has been jumbled around. But just know that it comes from knowing and experiencing real stuff.
So this book here, Absolute Life and Legacy by
Mm-hmm.
D.E. Evans, is based on real life, but it is a fictional novel.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
It is one of the ones that I'm proud of.
And
Out
you
of
should be.
out of all the
And there was a reason why I chose this book out of all of the ones that are listed online.
in the series, uh-huh.
Uh-huh. I was just reading the synopsis of all of them, and I was like, this is the one. This is the one I know I'm going to be able to probably relate to the most, and I think I'm going to be thoroughly entertained, and I'm going to learn something about Lady Diana from this book here. I highlighted a lot of stuff in here, Lady
Oh,
Di.
come on, shoot your best shot. Come on.
Oh, your background, your childhood, and your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way that you speak about your mother in the book, because you just basically broke down the facts of what happened in your life without putting her down, demeaning her, making her seem like a bad mom. Because
Yeah.
anybody who came from a lifestyle not similar to yours would be judgmental and would be like, that woman, you know what I'm saying? So how were you able to keep probably some of your emotions out of this piece of work?
You know, that's a really great question because it was hard.
Yeah.
It was very hard because my mom and I are 14 years apart. As if I put that in there, she 14 years, and we were not on the best terms, especially when I grew up. From 17 on, we were not at the best terms, but I loved her and I knew how hard she worked at being a mother to all six children. I knew that. But me being the oldest, I didn't get the kind of love that I thought I should get compared to what my siblings got.
Of course.
So that's why I had such mixed feelings about her being my mom. If she's my friend, what am I going to get from her? So, but the other kids, they had no problem knowing that's their mom. My
Mm.
mom would go out with me. My mom would drink with me. My mom would go out with my friends with me, go to my company Christmas parties with me. It was like my friend.
Yeah, because you're so close in age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a beautiful woman. Men just loved her.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And she would dress up. She had that beautiful shave, and she would just knock them dead every time. But
Yeah.
I never got to tell her that I wanted a mother, that
Mm.
I didn't get a mother. I
You
never
never
got
told her that?
mm-mm. Because I didn't want to hurt her feelings, because she was in her place. You know, she felt good about how she raised her children. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to say, well, mom, you know, you raised them okay, but you didn't raise me to be okay. You know, they had a mother. I had a big sister,
Yeah.
you know, and I would call women mom, you know, people that would babysit my daughter, I would call them mom. People that older people at work, I would call them mom, you
Because
know.
you were missing that mother figure?
Yeah,
Oh, so you were always like clinging to somebody for
yeah,
that mother figure role.
yeah. I could never tell my mom that, you know. I could never tell her, well, you know, I really want a mom. I don't need a friend to go out with.
Okay, that was going to be my question. Did she treat you as if you were more of her friend than her child?
Mm-hmm. Do
So
you
would
know
she ever burden you with things that should be burdened with a girlfriend, not a child? Got you.
Absolutely.
I
She
had to say.
called me 4 times a day. She would call me at work. She would call me in the morning, call me in the evening. Oh, my boyfriend did this, or, you know, yeah, yeah. Oh, I can't stand that man anymore. Oh, I can we go out this weekend? Because you know, so yeah, yeah. I met my husband through her.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
So you said your mom, she's the one that introduced you to your husband.
Yes.
Okay. So how did your mom meet your husband to introduce him to you?
My mom's brother was in the Navy,
Okay.
and I think it was like Thanksgiving, maybe. They had come to my mom's. My uncle brought 2 or 3 of his friends, and my husband was one of them.
Okay.
And I was still a virgin. I had never dated or anything, and I was just starting college. It was the year I just started college, and I had been in school for like 3 months, I guess. And I was on break. Oh, I thought he was really cute, but I always thought guys were cute. I
Okay.
mean, I'm just that kind of person. I love guys, but he was tall and I'm short, so, and very good looking.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't ready to date because I had my eye on this guy at school, you know, and he and I were study buddies, and I really liked him too. But he was like a little shorter guy. But I didn't care. I really liked him because he was smart. But this man he was very thin, and he just stood up like a tree. And I was like, should I even talk to him? Or, you know, maybe he wouldn't even like me. You know, I didn't know. But I had no experience in talking to anybody. So my mom, bless her heart, oh, I brought him here just for you, honey. Because we would do that. If I met a man, I would say, you want to meet my mom? That's the kind of relationship we had.
Okay.
And I said, okay. Now, he wasn't like cute as he was charming. You know, I thought he was very charming because he was quiet and he didn't do
Mm-hmm.
what the other guys did. He didn't run around, you know, just drinking and hollering and, you know, just he sat in the corner on the couch and he
He was
didn't move.
mysterious.
Yeah. And it kind
Mm-hmm.
of like, wow. So my mom said, this guy's from Alabama, so I know you will like him because we're from Alabama.
Okay.
She said, I know you're going to like him. And really, when she said that, I was thinking, is she thinking I'm going to get married? Because I have plans. My mom loved marriage. And I said, oh no, nothing like that, mom. You know, I'm still a virgin too. So having a grown man like in the Navy. Oh, that was scary.
Yeah.
The mom kept saying he's the sweetest, your uncle really thinks he's a great guy. You guys should date. And I was like, I'll talk to him. So I went over and I said hello. And that was the only thing I said to him.
Okay.
Then I left. I don't know. I don't remember why I left. Oh, I think my other uncle, we went to school together and we came to my mom's dinner and we left together. So my uncle and I are like 11 months apart. So we were like tight.
Yeah.
And then the uncle that's in the Navy, they stayed overnight. And I knew I was not going to be at my mom's house overnight with all these guys. That's my mom's thing. She'll roll out the red carpet for, her friends and stuff. I wasn't like that. I didn't want to be sleeping in the house with a bunch of guys because I was still trying to find out who I was and I didn't need to be put in that situation. But yeah, she fell in love with him for me.
Yeah.
And he was the right one. And she called me up. Oh, Di, you need to talk to him. He said you were so beautiful and so nice. And I said, Mom, all I said was hi. Now you got us married. And she said, no. But don't you think that it would be a nice, addition to our family? And I said, I don't know, Mom. I don't think I, want to even get that far. But I said, don't give him my phone number. Don't tell him where we are, my uncle and I. And she said, okay. But when she said that, she had already given it to him.
Yeah.
So from November to February, my uncle and I, we had a little Valentine's Day party on campus and we had it in the dorm and it was like popping. And somebody knocked on the door and we thought it was just some more kids, And here he comes. And I was like, he said, your mom said that you were having a Valentine's Day party and that it was okay if me and some of my buddies, came. And I said, but it's really for college kids, And he was like, oh, I just wanted to come see you. I thought you were really sweet. I've been talking to your mom every day about you. This has been, 3 months or more? Yeah. He's been talking to my mom all that time about me. And that night, a fight broke out, college kids.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody's mother came with the baseball bat and, who messed with my son. And so all the girls were like screaming and hollering and, and we were drinking, and stuff. And we were just screaming, oh, here's a mother with a bat. And he grabbed me and he held me and it felt so good,
Okay.
It felt so good to have him wrap his arms around me because I was really scared. I mean, I'm not used to that kind of excitement. But those kids had me so terrified, and him being there was the best thing that I could have ever, had that night. So what did I do? Gave up the cookies. Yeah.
They know what to do.
Yeah.
And your mom had a total of how many children?
6.
6. Okay. And are all of your siblings still around?
Mm-hmm. I have 2 here in Washington.
Uh-huh.
And 3 in Florida.
You always talk about, or at least throughout the book, you talk about legacy and writing your own story. Why is it so important for you to have your legacy, your history, things about you and where you come from? Why is it important to have that on print?
Oh, great question, Mo. I'm writing my memoirs right now.
Okay.
And that goes with this book, the legacy book, because I didn't get to tell my whole story. The legacy book, basically, because I didn't know if I was going to write another book, and I thought that would be my last book. So I wanted to put something in there for my children, for my daughter and my granddaughter.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure they knew about their mom and their granny. I wanted them to know where we came from, that we are somebody. Don't think that just because you're black, you're nobody. And so I wanted them to know where we came from, how we um, conducted ourselves throughout our lives. And my legacy is to tell them about our life. And I wanted them to be okay, because they didn't know anything. Bless their hearts, they didn't know anything about my mom, my grandma, and my great grandma. They knew nothing about them. And also, I wanted them to know why me had so many issues throughout their lives. So I wanted to clear the air, so to speak. I wanted to leave them something that they could, because they haven't read the book completely, but they have it. And I said, whenever you're ready, because they're not ready.
Gotcha.
They're not ready yet. There's some things, even my memoirs, I don't think they're going to read that maybe until I'm gone.